Irish citizens have different ways to actively participate in local and national decision-making processes. To learn more about these participatory tools, we traveled to Ireland and spoke with experts, politicians and citizens.
We have had several citizens' assembly up to this time. Citizens' assembly on environmental issues, on gender equality. So those spaces, they are relevant because they invite ordinary citizens to participate and engage in a very informed discussion. So they select a group of 99 ordinary citizens and they spend a few weekends discussing on specific issues. Experts are brought to those meetings and they do make recommendations. And because this is an institutional channel of participation, a final document is elaborated, a report, and this report can be used by politicians to make new proposals, new bills based on that discussion.
And what happens with the recommendations?
So usually in Ireland they go to a special committee of the Parliament. So these days the Parliament, the last full one was on gender equality, so still there's a special parliamentary committee, cross-party of all the parties, which is discussing the report and then it will make its recommendations. And usually the parliamentary committee makes recommendations very similar to the Citizens' Assembly because they're just considering the Citizens' Assembly report, but they call many of the same witnesses again and so on. And then they make a recommendation for what legislation should change or if it's a constitutional issue, if there should be a referendum.
Citizens' assemblies are only one of the participatory instruments in Ireland. At the local level, there are public participation networks, or PPNs.
The other channel, which is relatively new, which started in 2014 or 2015, are the public participation networks, the PPNs, and they are channels of participation at the local level, at the local authority level. So they are focused on policy as well, and they include several, I think I could say thousands of little community groups.
The Public Participation Network was set up around 2013 and it came from citizens seeking to have more participation and more involvement in the decisions that are made at local government level. So the community groups all form part of a network and they sit, representatives from the community groups sit on various committees. And it's a grassroots movement where power lies within the members and designed for the council, local government, to draw, say, the wisdom and the on-the-ground experience from within the community groups and to bring that to the table so that they're making decisions that reflect the needs of the communities.
So far, it's more about communication and the sharing of information. So in terms of being influential, I haven't been able to find a strong connection there. So communication is happening there. So, but in relation to change, I don't think we are there yet.
While citizens' assemblies and PPNs are the most common tools to involve Irish citizens in decision-making processes, some regions are experimenting on other instruments as well, such as participatory budgeting.
Participatory budgeting, or 300k, have your say as it's known here in South County Dublin, was introduced in 2017. It's an initiative that has just taken off so well within the county. We have 7 local electoral areas here in South County Dublin, and each one of the local electoral areas gets a turn at 300k, have your say, or the Participatory Budgeting Initiative. All local community-based projects that have been funded €300,000 into a local electoral area in 1 year, and it's a fantastic initiative. And the engagement has been fantastic. Environmental pieces absolutely top the bill. Nature trails, play spaces, teen spaces, kind of very much really granular community pieces. We've also funded, or the provision of kind of orchards and fruit trees, BMX tracks, and there's so many kind of different kind of initiatives that have been funded. We also funded a really interesting piece over in Clondalkin, which was a policing piece on for women and safety in the community and how safe they actually felt within the community, and that was a really good. 100% believe that it could be rolled out anywhere in Ireland, based on the electoral system that we have, and particularly at local level for local election from a local electoral perspective.
Despite the success of these different initiatives, there are still challenges when it comes to involving citizens in decision-making processes.
In terms of our democracy, the principles of democracy that we operate under are participatory and deliberative democracy. And these are quite new concepts to a lot of people. In fact, I read an article to say that, that said that we are educated in a system that is more like a monarchy, where we obey authority and we just follow orders. And we come out of that and we're not used to actually having a voice. We're not used to expressing what our needs are and having it been heard. And therefore I think a lot of people come into society and they don't expect that they actually have the power. They expect that they're just to be told what to do. And I think part of what we're trying to do is help people to understand that the power that they have. And in fact, my experience with the council would be that to meet our challenges in terms of environmental challenges, sustainability, biodiversity and climate change and all that, we actually need the people to be involved and actively engaging with that. A top-down approach and telling people what to do won't work.
So I think the biggest challenge is to persuade policymakers that they can trust citizens, persuade politicians and journalists, and they all have different reasons for thinking that it won't work. And in each country, each group always has different reasons for thinking, well, it might work in other countries, but it won't work in our one. We had the same in Ireland. We were told that there had been citizens' assemblies in British Columbia and Canada and the Netherlands. And we were told that Canadians and Dutch people were very sensible, but Irish people less so. So it wouldn't work in Ireland. You'd only get the mad people. So I think that's one of the things, that politicians are used to people who are very active about an issue. So they're the people they hear from, and they don't hear from most people who are willing to consider both sides of an issue and think about it. They're not normally the people that politicians and policymakers hear from. So I think when they realise that, then their attitudes can change.
That's all from Ireland. Go to our website, EURACTIV.com, if you want to learn more about participatory democracy in Europe.